When you come across these phrases with reference to mainstream Hindi cinema, it's highly possible that they're pointing to Anurag Kashyap's body of work. His movies delve into the inner worlds of their characters and simultaneously depict the realities of the outer. Stepping aside from all the phrases mentioned earlier, I've always been intrigued by the way Anurag uses color as a narrative tool to visually aid his storytelling.
सर लेकिन जो ह्यूमन राइट्स वायलेट हुए हैं उसका क्या?
ह्यूमन राइट्स
जी
उनसे कहिए यहाँ के केस सॉल्व करें.
A relatively evident use of color was made in his initial films. In Black Friday, a film on the bomb blasts of 93 Bombay, the use of heavily filtered imagery intensifies the mood of the film as it attempts to question the legal system and the hypocrisy prevalent in our society at large. All major incidents leading to the blasts and the massacre itself are shown through cold blue tinted imagery, symbolizing the emotional disconnect of all those involved. Whereas the scenes showing the interrogation of certain suspects were bathed in a deep red filter. This calls our attention to all the anguish which led to the subsequent brutality of the police. While filters were used in this movie merely to denote the extreme underlying emotions, Anurag puts color to a greater effect in Gulal.
A patriot must always be ready to defend his country against its government. जंग छेड़नी है हमें, आजादी की जंग.
The film portrays its characters protesting a variety of things. We see people protesting for power, for love, against royalty, and even for the kicks of a rebellion. While one brother is shown protesting against the democratic government rule, the other is shown protesting against violent protests. Red has been used ubiquitously to illustrate these protests, albeit to convey a different intent through each character. Duki, a member of the royal family, obsessed with claiming their province back, paints the idea of a revolution onto his followers. Notice this scene as he makes a deceitful proposal to the students. His house and face are beaming red, carrying the hidden agenda of revolution. Unaware that their life is about to change forever, they are shown in natural colors. One of my favorite characters from Kashyap's movies is Duki's brother. He's a John Lennon admirer who sports a red attire throughout as he attempts to challenge the line of thought of everyone around him, including us, through poetry. And then there's the meek law student who gets sucked into the world of politics and crime, but manages to remain detached from everyone except the girl he loves.
राजनीति क्या होती है पता है तुमको? Politics.
Red is used as a prelude to each time he rises up to confront all those he believes are responsible for being betrayed by his love. While red helps form the central theme of an uprising, yellow happens to complement the effect. The color yellow, being cheerful and warm, has been used to show intimacy. It becomes the chief color in Kashyap's next film. Yellow, being the brightest color to the human eye, also happens to be the only hint of color that there is in an otherwise grey life of Ruth, a foreigner without a work permit in India in pursuit of a father who went missing from her life when she was only 5.
Handshake. Hand job.
She works at a shady massage parlor where she goes above and beyond in order to make some money on the side. Her gloomy life is mirrored by the use of recurring blues, like the curtains that surround her in the parlor and the shabby little apartment that she lives in.
Except it's not me that's getting smaller. It's the world that's getting larger and larger, and I just can't find the one person I'm looking for.
Towards the end of the film, as Ruth discovers the awkward truth about her father, she removes the boots, signifying the end of her pursuit for happiness. In the last scene, she is bathed in deep blue and the world outside which she is leaving behind is yellow. As she closes her eyes and leaves all hope for a bright future. In a similar manner, colors were used to communicate the psychological decline of Dave, the protagonist of Dave D. His emotional atyachar begins with the use of jealous greens, which go on to become greener with envy as the film progresses. Dave sets out to find solace in alcohol and substance abuse as he encounters people who drag him further into the lonely blue worlds of self-destruction. And as he goes deeper into the neon-filled streets, the use of illuminating colors represent drifting away from reality into the dangerous yet momentarily colorful world of drugs.
When you feel pain, you should talk.
Yet again, all of this is balanced by the use of pink. Being the compassionate color that it is, was associated to Chanda, in whom Dave finally seeks redemption. When realization strikes towards the end of the film and Dave decides to finally clean up and start a new life, he's shown bathed in pink, quite literally. So I totally happen to value Anurag Kashyap's cinema mainly because his characters are people with flaws. Leaving aside perfection, they can't even be tagged as completely good or evil. They are just people, much like every one of us. And what's a better way to visualize these inner workings, these shades, than to use color as an instrument of narration?